What is to do with the horse stance when doing the Wim Hof Method?
The horse stance originated from the world of traditional martial arts and is used as a fundamental exercise for mobility, strength, willpower, and as a torture method for students. In the Wim Hof Method, where you endure extremely cold temperatures, the horse stance is often done after taking an ice bath or while standing barefooted in the snow. But what's the connection between the Wim Hof Method and traditional martial arts? Is there some mystic and secret technique hidden in this century-old stance? It's not only Wim Hof who does this stance. Anime, mangas, and movies all picture this stance as the ultimate source of power. Even the native cultures of New Zealand, the Maori, call this power stance and use it in their Haka. The horse stance is an isometric exercise where you place your feet approximately 4 side steps apart and lower to a stance where your upper thighs are ideally parallel to the floor. Your toes should be pointing forward, but depending on your body structure and mobility, you can turn them out as needed.
The goal is to have an upright torso with no forward lean. For some people this means having a neutral hip, and for other people this means having a slight anterior pelvic tilt. This is the textbook version of the horse stance, but your height can vary depending on your level and the context of your exercise. For example, you will hold your thighs parallel to the floor if your goal is to maximize strength, mobility, and willpower. On the other hand, if your goal is introspection, self-reflection, and endurance, you would stand a little higher but longer. What makes this exercise very unique and suitable for enduring extreme cold temperatures and also for martial arts is the isometric component, meaning the holding of a position. Usually when we contract a muscle, we intend to move, but we can also contract our muscle for stabilization and for holding our body in a specific position. The good thing about this is that we can stress our muscle more without risking injury, as we don't need to move weight over a particular range of motion. In the case of the horse stance, this also creates a duality between the lower and upper body. The lower body needs to work very hard to hold our body weight in position, whereas our upper body can relax. This duality between the upper and lower body can be used to do another exercise independently with the upper body, like doing martial arts arm techniques or relaxing Tai Chi-like movements. So this creates a tension between relaxation and the muscular demand. In addition, the intensity of the isometric hold poses a challenge for our mind to focus on the upper body movements and keep a calm state of mind. But this demand on our willpower can also make us more present and harness the energy of our nervous system by overcoming this harsh condition. Okay, now let's examine why the horse stance is excellent for withstanding icy cold temperatures or keeping us warm. Why not just do squats, burpees, or other kind of movements to increase body temperature? When we jump into an ice bath or take a cold shower, we get a sympathetic response from our nervous system. Our heart rate increases and our body is flooded with norepinephrine, which is the same as adrenaline. The spike in norepinephrine also causes vasoconstriction, which constricts the blood flow into and from our limbs to preserve body temperature in our core to protect vital organs. What happens in our body is that our outer extremities like hands, arms and legs get significantly colder while our body temperature remains roughly the same. Now if you were to do jumping jacks, burpees and other kinds of movements where we move our limbs a lot, the colder blood from our limbs would mix too quickly with the warmer blood from our core. This would lead to a drop of net core body temperature, a so-called afterdrop, which we experience with hypothermic reactions like uncontrollable shivering. This could also happen if you took a hot shower right after a long cold exposure or an ice bath. You don't need to worry if you take a cold shower, because the effect on our body temperature isn't as strong as a full body immersion into ice water. Doing the horse stance after taking an ice bath has two major advantages. One is that you keep to focus on your breathing and maintain a strong mind. And the other thing is standing in this isometric position while slowly engaging the muscles from the rib cage. You're generating heat from your quads and core without mixing it too quickly with the colder blood from the limbs. It's like pushing the heat from deep within you out to the limbs instead of letting the cold blood float back to your core.
And the way to go about this is to go into a horse stance right after you come out of an ice bath. No need to dry off, except for safety reasons like a slippery floor. Then slowly rotate your torso to the sides and push one arm out. Exhale on the push and inhale while you switch your arms. I do this for about 2 minutes before I increase the speed and switch to a more high energy breathing pace, where I also use primal sounds to raise my spirit.
I will do this as long as needed to get warm again. This could mean anything between 5 and 20 minutes. Lastly, let's talk about the power of the mind. Harsh conditions, whether it would be self-imposed or from external factors, is an opportunity to grow a strong resolve and callous our mind. The fascinating thing about our mind is that we can direct it to any situation in life. The breathing techniques, the ice baths and the horse stance are mere tools to tap into the almost limitless power of our mind. There are many other tools, but the simplicity of these three make them, for me at least, a very potent combination. But we can access the power of the mind without these tools. Yes, they make it easier, but we shouldn't depend on them. For example, the old Tibetan monks who practiced Tummo meditation, the practice where the Wim Hof Method originated, dried ice water-soaked blankets over their naked body while meditating outside in freezing temperatures. Also, Wim Hof had to rely solely on his mind power when his brain reaction was studied in an MRI scanner while ice water streamed through a specially designed suit he was wearing. He couldn't do his breathing method, which would have distorted the scan, and he had to remain still. The fascinating thing was that he was still able to generate all the effects of his breathing method just with his mind. These cases demonstrate nicely what power our minds hold. But we can't do that without experiencing uncomfortable situations first. We can use these challenging situations as a stimulus to grow. But rather than an opportunity to grow, many people see themselves as victims of external events or circumstances. And I don't say that there isn't injustice in our world and that we shouldn't fight for equality, nor do I say that I myself don't fall into the trap of blaming others sometimes. But I had to realize that blaming doesn't solve the situation. And by voluntarily facing uncomfortable situations like going into an ice bath and standing in the horse stance until I'm dry and warm again, I strengthen and prepare my mind for other events that I can't control. And this gives me power in a world full of uncertainties, make me more resilient to stress, and enables me to make better life decisions, whereas I'm not bothered by complacency or doing something just for the sake of following the crowd. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you like to know what an ice bath or a cold shower does for you and how to overcome it, click here or here. As always, thanks for watching and see you in my next video. Bye.